last 18 months or so that the sensibilities around large-scale data collection, the types of things that we're seeing every time we go out to Amazon or Facebook and we start leaving our little digital breadcrumbs as we click on things, that the awareness and the knowledge that these data exist in the databases has dawned on us that perhaps we could use those data in education very much in the same way that businesses are starting to personalize business services that we find in our online life. And so in the work that we're doing within the education sector, but frankly we're hearing our customers are starting to come to us and say, we need to know more what's going on in this analytics world. And what we have found is that it's not so much that they want to know about what it is or what the research methodologies are, the epistemologies around it, as it is they have to do better decision making in their businesses and they need the information to make that happen. And that might be anything from how to make sure that there are resources available for students, to finding out which students to actively recruit, which students might be at risk around programs for supporting their efforts really will have some direct impact on their success. So in our world, it's less about following the hypothesis-driven models and doing research. We know that there are people who can do that very, very well. We're starting to look instead at what happens when you start looking at pattern recognition around the things that are going on in our daily lives and how can we help people get to the point of making a decision faster.
And that's the point, isn't it? Recognizing the patterns in academic and administrative processes in a way that you can have them respond almost autonomically to when you deviate from the norm. Now, how about affordability? One of the issues here at EDUCAUSE that we're raising with all of the people we talk to, how can analytics be made affordable at a time when institutions are retrenching financially?
Well, it's an interesting question, Don, because in fact, what I would suggest is that universities and colleges, they have no lack of data. We're not necessarily talking about going out and finding new and different ways of collecting data. What we're talking about are greater efficiencies on taking resources that people already have and giving them frameworks for figuring out what to do with that information. So in fact, from an affordability standpoint, this is not necessarily that much of a stretch. It's really taking the resources that people already have in hand and helping sometimes to reframe the opportunity for using that information in ways that really makes a difference in terms of an operational decision or a recruitment decision or a support decision.
Now, you're a consulting firm and a project firm. So you have particular analytics tools that you use, or are you agnostic about tools? Do you use any tools for these projects?
We are primarily interested in using fairly traditional statistical methodologies, but using them in different combined ways. So in terms of tools, yeah, we're actually in the process. I mean, I'll tell you over the last couple of months that we have moved down that path just because of the number of requests that people are having. What can we do with this? But generally speaking, our focus really has been less around, hey, have I got a solution for you, as it is recognizing that for many people, talking about analytics is a little bit like 5 years ago. We've been talking about Web 2.0. Everybody liked it, they gravitated toward it, they knew it was going to happen and it was going to matter, and they didn't know what it was. And these days around analytics, I think you can say we're finding ourselves dealing with many of those same issues.
Well, one of the things that we're doing with our public forum on action analytics is we're posting case studies, white papers, and materials from vendors and consulting groups we're talking to. Do you have a set of materials you'd be willing to share with us so we can post?
We do. We have worked with, well, you know that this is sort of an interesting twist. Yes, we do. And yes, we do have some of the case studies. And as you know, sometimes when people are talking about early analytics projects, that they're not always so happy about having some of the things that they're doing shared. And so, yes, we certainly can, and we'd be happy to do so.
Yes, well, if you can share that, if you can share that, if you have